So, today we're talking about stereotypes. Not Myanmar, it's going to be next semester. We're doing stereotypes, something lighter after the topic last week. Much lighter. So, first I want to ask you, I'm going to write them down as you tell me them. What stereotypes do you have of Americans? What stereotypes do you have of Americans?
They're always smiling.
Smiling?
And positive.
Positive?
Fat.
Fat? True.
Fast
Fast food?
Football.
Sorry?
Football.
Football?
American football.
Uh-huh. What else?
Don't like Russians.
Don't like Russians.
And think that Belarus and Russia is one country.
Belarus and Russia, one country. What else?
Obsessed with celebrities.
Celebrities. Uh-huh. Anything else you associate with America?
Success
Success?
as economical and financial and as success in life. So thinking about success and how to be successful and making the life success.
And making the life,
Their lives.
life success.
Comparing to Belarus, we have another strategy.
So would you say it's like a mentality? Or like,
Yes, mentality.
Okay. Hello. Nice dress. Both of you. It's Christmas colors. Look at that. Green. Look at that. Huh? Did you plan that? No. Any other American stereotypes? Do you have any American stereotypes, Yana?
No.
No? Come on, you know a few. What are Americans to you? Not what Google says, what Yana says. Not Yandex either. Okay. Well, I wrote these down now, and we're going to catch up to that here in a second. So, American stereotypes. First, I have a film, a short little video. Hello.
Hello.
What stereotypes do you have of Americans?
Oh. I don't understand this question.
Stereotypes.
Stereotype.
Stereotype Americans.
Oh, I don't know.
No ideas. So to you, Americans are just white pieces of paper. It's not. Hello.
Hello.
To those of you who just came in, what are some American stereotypes that you have? Stereotypes of Americans. You have been in America. Oh yeah.
I did.
So, what are some American stereotypes?
Americans always smile.
Americans smile, that's for sure. What else?
In America, there are a lot of flags everywhere.
Lots of flags. So, patriotism. Yeah?
Americans like to talk about their politics.
They really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised because sometimes politics and religion is like a no talk about subject because it starts fights. But okay, that's good. Talk politics. Anything else?
They have the right to bear arms.
Yes. Guns. Lots of guns. The right to bear arms. Second Amendment.
Sometimes America acts as the world's police.
World Police. Weltpolizei. Alright, well you have a good list here. I'm impressed. So, this first video I have for you is done on a campus in Japan, actually. And it's perceptions of Americans from several different nationalities from around the world. And we might see some of your stereotypes represented here and maybe even some new ones. And then we'll talk about it.
Distinguish Americans from what? Like from other people?
Yeah.
Mostly, yeah. Mostly you can distinguish them.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, people from the United States.
And America. Americano.
From accent.
From their accent?
Is the accent?
Maybe accent.
Maybe by an accent.
From their accent.
From the accent.
I don't think we have accents.
Other than accent.
そうですね。外人みんなアメリカ人だと思ってます。
Are mostly fat White, fat.
Well, let's say usually they have a bit more weight on their hips.
Usually they're sometimes a little bit plump.
Often a bit overweight.
Bigger. In sizes.
Some Americans maybe tend to be larger, you know. Not always, but sometimes.
見た目の違い、マッチョみたいな、大きい。
体格。さっきも言った。Americans have like more muscular face.
ジムとか行くんでやっぱ筋肉の発達の進歩が全然違うと思います。
こうセクシーな体とか。
ああ、そう、そんな感じ。
But for me, I can differ Americans and Europeans from the accent only. Other than that, they look the same.
I don't know.
Maybe their behavior, yeah.
They eat a lot of hamburgers. So if you see like a person in McDonald's, he's probably American.
Yeah, they go to McDonald's. Even if they're in Japan, they go to McDonald's
They
very
do.
often.
They do.
It feels like they're always eating. Oh yeah. Yeah, always.
And sometimes they make their friends, they usually smoke and put out the smoke in there where they want, wherever they want.
비 올 때 우산을 안 들고 다니는 거. 물통을 항상 들고 다니죠.
그래?
하고 돈 잘 안 쓰고. 돈 없다 그러고.
For example, when we go out with Americans, I think they always want to play drinking games. They really want to, you know, make sure everybody gets really wasted and make sure everybody takes a lot of shots. I think that's a really American thing.
Maybe buy clothes or fashion.
From the way they dress, they use bigger clothes.
옷을 되게 크게 입어요.
Yeah, they have loose clothes. Maybe they doesn't care about too much what they wear. Thinking about sweatpants, big t-shirts, stuff like that.
I don't know, they wear shorts.
ズボンに T シャツみたいな。フリフリしてなければ。
I think European fashion is better.
The clothes that they wear when they're sleeping, they usually use it for their school or like
they wear what they like. They just don't
like
care about what people think about it.
As soon as they start talking and stuff, you can really tell.
And when they're mostly in bigger groups, they just are louder and just, you know.
Maybe.
They're a bit loud as well.
Americans talk too loud.
They can be jolly, like happy, jovial all the time, jumpy, yeah, you know.
When you hear someone who's shouting at someone, you can see it's American.
Outgoing and loud and quite confident. I guess they're American.
I think they have a bit more confidence in them. They're really outgoing, I think, and very confident.
If you talk to American people, they smell like freedom.
You know, so honest.
Ladies speak their mind.
I think they are kind. Yeah.
面白い。面白い。
Americans kind of have that confidence within themselves, so that's like how they walk around and carry themselves.
So a lot of them mentioned some things that we heard already, and a lot of them also talked about confidence. Some of the things that I pulled out of that while listening to it is that with the clothes, that's something I did not notice was different until I moved to Europe. And and this may sound crazy to you, but in the winter, like right now, with everyone, like when I was your age, every single day I would wear shorts and a hoodie, a sweatshirt. And all of the guys, every single day, shorts and a hoodie. Okay, California is not as cold as here, but even like today, the weather like today, shorts and a hoodie. You know, like sweatshirt, yeah? Every single day. And someone mentioned the shorts, and I think that they were referring to that. The baggy clothes. When I first moved to Germany, I was 19, and at the time I had a German girlfriend, and I was visiting her family, and her mother asked her after a couple of days, Maria, why does your boyfriend dress like a gangster? Because it's true, we had this fashion in America that we had really baggy jeans, and they're kind of like were halfway down your butt, you know, and like, but these really, you know, big jeans. And this was. Did you see big?
Yeah, actually, I have a story. I and my friend, we were walking around the museum, and a man, a typical American,
came to us and asked where we are from. So we asked that we are from Belarus and asked him why he asked us about this. So he thought that we looked very different from Americans. We were wearing like I looked like this, and I know why. I think I look like all people in this museum, and I was really surprised why he came to us and asked. So he said that we are from. He was sure that we are from Europe because of our clothes.
I understand why that happened. It would not be because of how you look, with your skin or your facial structure or your hair. I mean, Americans could be anything, yeah. But the clothing is definitely different, definitely. And not for everyone. I mean, look at me now. You know, this is not typical American. No, it's not. So as we talk about stereotypes, we'll see that they're not a blanket over everything. But in some cases, they are true. There's no doubt about that. And yeah, that's a perfect example with the same kind of thing. Yeah, your clothes were not baggy. And also, I see the way that students, boys and girls, so pupils, in American English, you can say students for people at school or at university. It's all the same. So students, they dress so nice. And I feel as a teacher, I have to dress nice because otherwise my students will look nicer than me, you know? Even with this nice sweater, and like, I taught a class the other day at school, and the kids had, let's see, like suit jackets and stuff, and it's like, gosh, the first time I got a suit jacket, I was like 22, you know? And actually, when I was a student and went to university, when I went to see the first year of university, 18 years old, we would wear sweatpants to school, to university. Sometimes the same thing that people wore to bed, the pajamas, they would wear that to university. And I can see how today that would be so disrespectful. I cannot imagine seeing a student at Polotsk State University coming on campus in their pajamas. No, people would like, you know, but in the California university atmosphere, it was in some degrees, acceptable. As you got older and you were, fourth year student, come on, no, you're getting ready for the working industry, the working environment, you don't wear your pajamas at school. Yeah. But freshmen definitely would wear their pajamas at school, there's no doubt about that. And someone talked about confidence, actually a few of them did. And when I first saw this, I was asking myself, why is that? Why are Americans so confident? And I realized that our whole entire life we're pushed with this message. When I was in school, so from kindergarten until 6th grade, the motto on like all of the walls and the message we were told every single day was that if you believe it, you can achieve it. Every single day we were told that at school. If you believe you can do this, if you believe you can do something, you can do it. And that idea of the whole American dream, that if you work hard, that you can be anything you want to be, that you can get and achieve anything you want to be. And I think the American dream is changing with time. It might not be as easy as before, but I still do believe that this American dream, that if you go there and you work hard, that you can achieve anything that you want, I even remember being your age and people were saying, hey, if you want, you could be president one day. Yeah? So, but when we look at this, the American stereotypes, I jotted down the list that you said here. So, I want to see how many of them, contribute or are the truth of me as an American specimen. Yeah. So yes and no. Smiling and positive, I'll say yes. Fat, no. Eating fast food all the time, no. Football fan, yeah, not crazy fanatic, but yeah, okay. Don't like the Russians, no, that's not true. Think Belarus and Russia is one country? No. Crazy about celebrities? No. Mentally driven with the idea of success in life? Yes, I would agree with that. Patriotic and proud. I really have a lot of patriotism for my state. There's no doubt about that. I love my state, California. So I'll put that on this side. I traveled around the world with a California flag on my back around the entire world. So I do love where I came from. Talk about politics, yes. Guns, no. World police. I don't know how to say that one. I'm not acting as a world police, no. But you see, we're at 6 and 6. So 50%. If a student gets 50% of the questions on their exam right, they're not that good of a student, eh? So while we talk about stereotypes, and they are funny, and I like them, you know, it's important to remember that this is not a blanket that covers everyone, yeah? And because when we treat it like a blanket that covers a whole country, a whole population, that can be very dangerous. And we'll talk about that later. We'll see an example of that. But yeah, 50% of these stereotypes were true for me, personally, as an American. Yeah, not all of them. But it's true. I mean, with obesity, I'm not fat. But many Americans are. In fact, most are. 66, 67%, 2/3 of Americans are overweight, and 1/3, so about 30%, are actually obese, which is really, really overweight. Like, you have to have a rolling a wheelchair to get your food at the grocery store. So that is an issue. Yeah, guns. There's 63,000 guns sold a day in America. 63,000. That's like almost everyone in the city of Polotsk buying a gun every single day. So yeah, there's truth to that. You know, there is a reason why that is a stereotype. Ignorance about the world. I would say Americans are more inside focused. And it took me a long time to, one, to accept that it was okay, and two, to understand why that is. Does anyone have an idea why would Americans be more focused inside than outside?
Patriotism.
Sorry?
Patriotism.
Yeah, patriotism, yeah. I think that certainly plays a role, yeah. Any other ideas?
Good quality of life, so they don't have to look at other countries and understand that people in, for example, Britain or Russia live better than they do.
Yeah, I think that there is a good quality of life, and therefore that people can then find problems. I mean, people always find things to complain about or problems in their life, but they can find small town or problems or first world problems. Yeah, it's true. I think that also the geographical position affects that. Look at us here in Polotsk. We can travel for 100 kilometers, an hour and a half, 2 hours to the west, and there's a whole nother country, a whole nother language. Latvian. Who speaks Latvian? That's the only thing I know. Nice to meet you. And in America, you simply don't have that. You look at America, and it's almost like the whole European Union is a country, and each country in the European Union is a state, and this European Union is like 12 hours away by plane from most of the other countries in the Northern Hemisphere. That's my reality in California. I have to go 12 hours on a plane just to get to Europe. And the only other real close options are Mexico or Canada. And Canada's kind of just like America, except for they have healthcare. So it's not really that different. It would be like Germany and Austria. Yeah. So I think that it's so far physically away from the rest of a lot of the Northern Hemisphere. I think that plays a role as well, in why it is kind of inward focused. But I don't think it's a bad thing. It also comes, in my opinion, from a big country mentality. There's 2 countries in the world that I've seen that have true big country mentalities. What 2 do you think they might be? countries with the idea that a big country mentality.
Russia and USA.
Yes, Russia and the USA. And I kid you not, having spent a lot of time in Russia, met a lot of Russians, and of course met a lot of Americans, the typical American and the typical Russian, they are pretty damn similar. If you take someone from, let's say, Samara, middle of Russia, and you take someone from Denver, Colorado, middle of America, and just a normal average person, lives average life, they're so similar. They're far more similar than the average German and the average American. Far more similar. And I think it comes from this big country mentality. America and Russia are both large multinational countries. There's a lot of nationalities inside of Russia, just like there's a lot of nationalities inside of America. Okay, you do not have maybe as much of the Latinos and the African descents that come to Russia as we have in the United States. But I think you have a lot of Mongols, a lot of Chinese, a lot of people from Central Asia, Pakistan, and so forth. And all the former Soviet Union satellites. And yeah, all of those people have their Kazakh language at home, or Mandarin. But if they come to Russia, they better speak Russian, right? I don't think they're going to get that far speaking Mandarin. No. And if you come to America and you don't speak English at all, would that be difficult, Olya? Very difficult, exactly. And just like when I crossed the border into Russia the first time, and the guard was like, the security guy, he was like, you don't speak Russian, what are you doing in Russia? I'm like, well, it's a good question. But these stereotypes, even when you break it down within the United States, we have stereotypes that are for different regions. Do you have different stereotypes for different regions of Belarus? No? I know that in France they definitely have some, and in Germany they definitely have for like north and south usually.
Maybe we have two, but we don't see great importance of this.
Okay.
For example, maybe people from like Vitebsk region might quieter than people in Brest, for example, because when I was in a summer in a camp, there were children from all over Belarus, and we were very different. For example, I am from a typical Vitebsk region city, and person from Lida. We were so different that people just
wow, okay.
behave in different ways.
You think it's from upbringing? Do you think it's from culture or from society? Any idea why that is?
Maybe mostly because of quality of life.
Okay.
Because even in Belarus, in little country, we have different quality of life in Polotsk, even in Polotsk and Novopolotsk.
Yeah.
Cities are completely different.
Yeah. That's interesting to hear. I'm not surprised. No, I'm not surprised. I've seen in Germany it used to be divided into more than 300 different countries. Kaiserreichs. Yeah? Every Kaiser, like every kind of duke or king, had his own little country. And even today you see the differences in the language, the way people handle each other, the talking, kind of like how you described as well. And in California, or in America, see, look at that. California's saying. In America, it's the same, And I can tell you, I understand why these ones in the West are the way they are, like why they labeled them the way they did. But some of these in the Far East, I don't know. I mean, I know that from Maine, lobsters come from Maine, Maine is the very last state in the far east here. But to be honest, kind of embarrassing, I don't know anything else from Maine. That's all that I know. I think of lighthouses and lobsters. And that's what I think of. Vermont, I think of Bernie Sanders and Ben and Jerry's ice cream. And more than that, there's not that much. I mean, because I don't have any exposure there. But let's see, Seattle and Washington, geeks. Why do you think maybe geeks? What kind of a computer is that? This is a Mac, that is a Windows. It's a Windows. So, operating system. Yeah? Windows, Windows? Yes. Comes from Seattle. Bill Gates in Seattle. And Bill Gates had a quote once, be nice to geeks, be nice to nerdy people, be nice to geeks, because one day you will work for them.
Yeah.
Yeah? Have you heard that before?
We have kind of teachers at school often say that if students have bad marks, that doesn't mean that he won't be successful in life. Maybe one day, students who have only good marks will work for that.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, look at talk about bearing arms. Look at Texas, armed and God-fearing. Yeah. Kansas, Dorothy from Kansas, tornadoes, or Cuba Libre. Cuba is very close to Florida in the south there, and that's a famous drink from Cuba. But then you see racist from South Carolina and Cancer Factory in North Carolina. I have no idea. Virginia furniture. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why. So. I mean, it's stereotypes. Let's move on. But we talked about America being closed off to the rest of the world. So this was a perspective of what America would refer to the rest of the world as. So we see the communists, the red communists in the Russian sphere, and the whole Eastern Europe is the buffer zone. Unfortunately, I think if you told a lot of people, oh, I live in Lithuania, they probably would have a difficult time finding Lithuania on the map. It's just reality. Do you know where Arkansas is? Arkansas and Lithuania are about the same size. And I get it. Europeans don't know where Arkansas is, just like Americans don't know where Lithuania is. It's just the world is too big to know everything. I understand that. Dracula, why might Dracula be here? Romania. Yeah, Count Dracula, vampires, Turkey, the country mixed with Turkey, the bird, yeah, France, smelly armpits, the royals of the UK, and the buffer zone. Austria, the sound of music, and cash in Switzerland. Godfathers, the movie Godfather, the Italian mafia. So Italy is full of the Godfathers and pizzas. We look at the rest of the world and we see, okay, China, People's Republic of Chinatown, India, yoga, Japan, sushi and ninjas, or Indonesia, Obama's schoolmates, or Kazakhstan. Yeah, I was very interested to go to Kazakhstan because Borat. Yeah, I wanted to show people, Americans mostly, that there was much more to Kazakhstan than Borat. Yeah? That film is actually outlawed in the country of Kazakhstan. And then you have all of the stands. Shvizhikstan, Kavrizhikstan, Urumstan, what the fuck is Stan, yeah? And before I traveled this world, if someone told me they were from Tajikistan, yeah? So I get it, I get it. And, the Middle East, yeah? You see terrorists and Satan. And to some extent, this ignorance does exist. I have a perfect example which portrays that. When I was 16, need to make a new file on that. When I was 16, I went to Europe for the very first time in my life. And I was in Paris, France. It was a French class trip, and my class from high school went to France for the summer and some other European countries. And in Paris, there's the Seine River that flows through Paris, and there's this boat called the Bateau Mouche, called the Fly, that goes along the river through Paris. And while on this boat, there were these three cute girls about the same age as me, blonde, and I went over, and me and the confident American teenager, hey, I'm David, what's your name? And there were three girls from Germany. I had never met a German in my life. About Germany, I knew World War II, BMW, and beer. That was about it. Oktoberfest. That's all that I knew about Germany as a 16-year-old. And who would think that one day I would speak and live in Germany and have a degree from there? Never knew. And I was talking to these girls, and after about 20 minutes on the boat, I asked them, and it was a serious question. It was a real question. So, did you think that Hitler was a good guy or a bad guy? And they were so mad at me, they quit talking. They were just like, oh my gosh, you think we're Nazis? And they just turned around and stopped. And I spent the rest of the ride on the Baton Mouche alone. And I look at this as a kind of a snapshot into my world awareness, or how much I knew about the world at this time. And it's not my fault, because, hey, in school, about Germany, I had only learned about World War II, BMW, and through culture I learned about Oktoberfest. Maybe I learned something about the Black Plague, and that was about it, really. That's all I knew about Germany coming through there. So yeah, I mean, that was a stereotype, and I honestly did not know, hey, are they Nazis or not? So, so to some extent, these do exist. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to skip the UK stuff. That might be a whole nother section, but now we'll go to Russians. What are your stereotypes of Russians? Other than Putin on a bear. Please. Balalaika. Vodka. Communism. Что еще? Patriotism and? Bears. Patriotism, patriotic.
Nuclear bombs.
Nukes. Nuclear bombs. I have a great video about. Go ahead.
Many Russians don't like Russians.
Many Russians don't like Russians or Americans.
Russians. It's better.
Any other Russian stereotypes?
Matryoshkas and babushkas.
Nice. Matryoshkas and babushkas.
That Moscow is full of not Russian people, and there is no real Moscow people.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I understand.
The coldest country in the world.
Cold.
Ushanka.
Шапка Ушанка.
Береза.
And there's no life around Moscow.
Yeah, like people
around the Great Circle. So I mean the road system.
So within that circle, there's no life.
There's no life. They see. And everybody knows.
Yeah, Moscow. I don't think Moscow is Russia. Just like it's not a good representation of Russia.
Yes.
Yeah, the rest of Russia. Okay. Go figure. You know Russia very well. So I have a video here as well that of a Russian who lives in America. He talks about some non-important stuff in the middle, but I just play it through, and he will talk about some of these that we just listed off here. I think you'll like this video.
I hate stereotypes. You tell people you're from Russia and they immediately assume all kinds of things. Oh yeah, before they start assuming, they tell me, oh yeah, I know this word in Russian, and usually the word they tell me is like one of the many bad words in Russian. Russian dirty language, and somehow Americans learn those words first. And what's worse is that if they don't know those words, they ask me how to say those words. I don't tell them. I'm like, listen people, no, I mean it's a language of Lev Tolstoy and I don't know, Anton Chekhov, and they didn't normally use words like the kind that you want to learn. I'm in the tunnel, don't worry, it's a bus that's trying to pass me on the left. It's not a race or anything, we're both in the tunnel. Why is there so much traffic? Anyhow, stereotypes, I hate stereotypes. If I tell people I'm from Russia, they immediately assume that, I don't know, I live in a house that's painted red. And then at home, They assume that I have a portrait of Comrade Stalin, on my wall, right next to the portrait of Comrade Putin. This bus is called Bolt bus. Is this like Usain Bolt? I wonder, it says Bolt for a buck. I don't know what that means. Is it lightning bolt? Is this Usain Bolt, or is it just clever marketing? What I do know is it's very loud. You probably cannot hear me. Can you hear me, senior citizens? Portrait of Comrade Stalin, right next to portrait of Comrade Putin. By the way, I went to high school with Putin's nephew. Did you know that? Anyhow, it's a big secret. I'm not allowed to say. Of course, people assume I have a pet bear, that's chained in the backyard, and my pet bear and I drink vodka at night. This vodka has been rationed to us, of course, by the government. And we don't get more than like 3 bottles into our heads or paws per evening. Of course, my wife is a male Russian bride. She's blonde with blue eyes and very tall. And very beautiful, okay? Russian women are beautiful. All of them. Every single one of them, okay? I constantly make borscht and pickle vegetables. And above all, I love bread, Russian bread, and potatoes. Okay, that's the other big thing. Did I mention about the bear and we drink vodka at night? Yes. And in the morning and at night, I usually listen to the national anthem, okay? And I stand at attention while wearing the uniform of a Soviet high-ranking officer, okay? And I take out my weapons, my Kalashnikov rifle, my pistol, Makarova, and of course my sniper rifle. Oh yeah, I smoke, and I smoke Russian cigarettes, okay, of course, and I smoke as I drink vodka with my pet bear. Oh yeah, I'm a communist, of course, I'm a card-carrying member of the Communist Party, and I hate all Americans. I mean, this is how ridiculous it is. People make stereotypes, okay, and they're funny, but they're absolutely ridiculous, okay? It's not like that at all. Like what? Do all German people like bread and sausages mit Schwein? No, I mean, there's all kinds of German people, there's all kinds of Americans, all kinds of Russians. Let's not reduce each other to stupid stereotypes, okay? And that's the message. A life-affirming, harmonious, and highly educational message from a crazy Russian dad today. Good night.
So we saw a lot of the stereotypes that we mentioned as a group come up in his video there. And and I think us here, more than anyone, would know that, okay, just like the American stereotypes to me fit 50%, does not fit all Russians. I know many Russians who do not drink vodka and who do not smoke. And I would like, next semester I'll pull up this video about nukes. I will put, it's about US, America, all the countries that have nuclear weapons. It has some vulgar language in it, but it's damn funny. And I will play that next time. We'll come back to that. So we saw the European continent in the perspective of Americans. Now we see it in the perspective of Russians. We have so the French, the fashion victims, the Western Germany, the baptized Nazis, and the Eastern Germany lost in a poker loss. And Belarus Frankenstein. I don't understand. Why am I that? I don't get that one. Frankenstein? I didn't get that. I mean, there are a lot of these I don't get. Turkey. Well, Turkey tourist colony. Probably not anymore. This was in 2010. There's been some events since then. I think a lot of the tourists have gone away. So this is even before Crimea, you see. And whoa, what do we see? Donetsk region in Crimea and Odessa, southern Russia, and the Ukrainians personality disorder. Moldova, okay, and Bulgaria, cheap booze. I've met many Russians who travel to Bulgaria for cheap alcohol, and Italy, shopping center. Well, and Switzerland, of course, banks. I think everyone thinks of Switzerland as banks. That's pretty universal, yeah? That's where all the money is. So, and the Swedish family, and so someone in the university had to explain it to me. I didn't understand it, why that was association of group sex for Sweden, but like we said, it's not a blanket, it does not cover everything. So now Germans, our last victim of the day. What do you think of Germans?
Sausages.
Sausages. Wurst.
Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest.
Good cars.
Good cars.
Beer.
Beer.
Really into their culture.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe strict.
Very much castles.
Castles. Yes.
Football.
Football.
They're punctual.
Punctual.
Love rules.
Love rules. You know Germans pretty well.
They insurance everything.
Yes. Do you remember that from my
Yes.
Versicherungspräsentation?
They're distant.
Mm-hmm.
They're really different in different regions.
Very true.
The heart of European Union.
Mm-hmm. Geographically, economically,
Economically.
or all of the above. Yeah.